Hi, I'm Laura Rolfe, host of Powered by Franchising. I am excited to speak with Carrie Henagar, the Franchise Development Director for JUNKCO and Chem-Dry today, and share a little bit more about what I learned at a recent franchise conference about both brands. So welcome to the show, Carrie.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks for having me on.
Well, JUNKCO is a brand new brand in my purview, but the brand itself has been around for a long time. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I want to start out by saying that it's part of the BELFOR family of brands that is no stranger to franchising. So how did you get involved with franchising and BELFOR?
So it all started about a year and a half ago. Before BELFOR, I worked with AT&T. I was a district manager with them, and then a couple people that worked in the AT&T field went over to BELFOR when it was Harris Research before BELFOR, and they are still with the company, and they are the ones that got me into doing this. I love sales. I love talking to people. I love getting people excited about different things. It was a different transition for me going from cell phones to franchising because, you're dealing with people's life savings in their lives versus a day-to-day cell phone. But I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm excited about the new brand that has come to BELFOR.
So you started with BELFOR working with Chem-Dry and development of that brand. And that brand's been around since 1977. So long history of success in the franchise world, part of the BELFOR family of brands. Tell me a little bit about Chem-Dry.
So, Chem-Dry has been around for about 47 years. We have over 2,500 franchises worldwide. Um, uh, it is a carpet cleaning industry, low cost startup to get into it. It was a really good brand. It's a hard brand to sell. The joke that everyone says is if you can sell Chem-Dry, you can sell anything. But I got on board with it pretty quick. And I've sold, I think my first year I sold 8 territories. So it's been really interesting and fun to learn about and just meeting the different franchisees out there and helping change their lives.
Well, I like it because it's a low investment brand and pretty simple business model. You don't need a physical brick and mortar location with Chem-Dry.
Mhm.
You need a vehicle, and then you're provided with all of the training and support from BELFOR Brands and Chem-Dry to be successful in your business. And the territories are set up to help franchisees be really successful, and it's such a recognizable brand in communities all across the U.S.
Oh yeah, everyone knows about Chem-Dry, and yeah, having the or the backing of the BELFOR Fran group, that's really beneficial as well. And with all of the BELFOR brands, we do offer in-house financing with a certain percentage down, so that helps people as well get started, getting their business going.
Well, terrific. Well, last week we met in person at the franchise convention, and I remember you brought a friend Wally in as actually Dwayne. Also with BELFOR Brands brought Wally in, which Wally, if our listeners aren't familiar, just recall combs the earth looking and picking up junk and junk items around the globe. And so tell me about JUNKCO+ and what our listeners should learn about this new brand to BELFOR.
Okay, so JUNKCO delivers a full range of professional and residential commercial junk removal, property clean outs, and demolition services. So 35% with JUNKCO is going to be about demolition services. So that includes furniture and appliance removal, hoarding and estate cleanouts, shed demolition, and more. So our local owners enjoy a variety of service offerings that appeal to a broad client base. The diversity creates multiple revenue streams and excellent opportunities for businesses growth and expansion. So a lot of people ask, why JUNKCO? With JUNKCO, we've got the backing of the BELFOR Franchise Group. It's a low startup cost. We do offer 50%, or it's in-house financing with 50% down, multiple revenue streams. It's a scalable business model, strong demand, and you have ongoing support with BELFOR and referrals with the other BELFOR brands.
Well, and I love it because it's in a 76 billion, that's with a B, $1 billion waste management industry. And while we see other junk removal brands out there, I think JUNKCO really separates itself from some of the other brands because of the demolition piece and the backing of BELFOR. So the expansion of this brand is, as soon as I saw it come into the portfolio, I was like, I want to be able to show this brand to my clients as an opportunity or an alternative to just traditional junk removal.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, sometimes you call up junk removal companies and they'll come in and they're not dressed in uniforms and, they're just kind of messy. With JUNKCO, you call, we schedule you an appointment. They're going to come out there in uniforms. They're going to pack up your stuff, move it aside for you. If you want a wall torn down, we'll tear a wall down. So, they offer a lot of different services than just coming in and picking up trash and leaving with it. And they're professionals. So that's a good thing as well.
So as far as the initial investment, the franchise fee is $55,000 with JUNKCO, and looking at a total single unit investment of somewhere between $197,500 and $297,060, if we're going to be exact. That's what the franchise disclosure document shows. You do need to have a net worth of $100,000 for this particular brand and have cash liquidity of, remind me of the cash liquidity for this brand again.
Cash liquidity is $50K. So they want you to show at least $50K in your accounts after you pay the down payments for the franchise fee. So with the equipment, so the equipment's going to be $12,500, and then you have your not the van. I'm on Chem-Dry now. With JUNKCO, you have your truck, so that's $100,000 as well. So we can offer. It's a third-party financing. It starts like 10, 15 to 20% down. So we can finance the equipment and the truck.
Where do people get the truck? If I'm a franchisee and I'm starting my new business, how do I get my truck?
So we actually take care of all of that for you. They're actually being built right now as we speak. So it's not like with Chem-Dry. Like when I speak with my clients about Chem-Dry, they're like, Carrie, where do I go to get a truck? We always send them to the Ford dealership, and you can, rent a new one, or you can finance one, buy one right out. But with JUNKCO, we build that truck for you once you decide to purchase the franchise.
So what's special about this truck? What does it have that you build into it?
It's humongous, first off. It's really big.
Well, do you need a CDL license?
No, that's a good thing. So you do not need, so our ideal franchisee, no experience is necessary. We would love for you to have a background in management, sales, marketing, any traits like that. But no, you do not have to have a commercial driver's license. But it is a pretty big truck. It dumps. It's like a dump truck. It's got all of your equipment for the demolition on the sides of it. It's pretty big and roomy inside. So it's a really nice truck.
So you mentioned some of the qualities for an ideal franchisee, some management experience, operational experience, building a business. You're not wanting the franchisee, though, going out and doing the demolition and the junk removal. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So what they like is when you first decide, like, hey, this is something that I want to do. We're going to want you to have two other people that you have hired on. So the first 2 weeks after you go through your training, the training is actually a week long in Logan, Utah, but you still will have your ongoing support and a whole support team during your whole time with Junko. But once you get back from training, they want the franchisee to be in the truck for the first 2 weeks. And that's so, this is your business. You're using your money. You want to know how to run this business, how to do the junk removal, how to run your truck. And then you're going to pull yourself off that truck. And that's where you're going to have two people on the truck that are going to be going out and doing the clean outs and doing the junk removal and the demolition, where you can kind of sit back and you can take those calls and fill those calls and set up appointments for that day or the following day or thereafter.
Well, see, if I had a JUNKCO franchise, I love swinging a hammer and breaking down walls. I think that would be so fun. So I think it's great that you give your franchisees that experience during the 2-week training in Logan, Utah, and then also 2 weeks when they're back in their market doing demolition, junk removal, so they understand what that looks like for their employees. But we're looking for people who are going to scale a big business, and so you're going to have that first truck. Any estimates on when you might scale to add a second truck to your franchise business?
So the population, when you purchase a territory, it's 450 to 650,000 in population. We don't want you to overdo it when you first come in. Since this is a new franchisee, Blake Gordon is our CEO and president. He started this company back in 2018. I think he started as a landscaper and then decided, this was something that he wanted to do. He is based out of Louisville, Kentucky. I think he now has 3 trucks. So he's been doing this for about 5 years now. But he has about 8 employees too.
Well, that's a good scale, and it's not too big or too unmanageable as far as the investment and the growth opportunities. Sounds like those 3 trucks and those 8 employees can handle a lot of jobs. What's the typical
Oh yeah.
length of time that a truck and 2 employees are going to be on a particular job?
So it's anywhere going to take from, depending on how big of the job is. You can have some people come in and are just like, hey, knock down this shed. Or you could have someone come in and says, hey, just clean out this kitchen. It's going to depend. I mean, it could take anywhere from an hour to 4 hours to do a job.
So you can do several in a day then, or a couple in a day.
Yeah, so Blake, when I went, they came on with BELFOR back in December. We recently started, this month is when it launched, JUNKCO did. Me and Dre went up to Louisville, Kentucky, and we actually met with Blake. So yeah.
So one of my favorite steps in the franchise discovery process is validation. So talking to current franchise owners about their business. But since we don't have a lot of franchisees just yet, tell me what validation would look like with JUNKCO.
So the validation part, that was one question. That's what I meant to go with. I kind of was lost train of thought. But validation process. So when we went up to Louisville, Kentucky, like we got to ask him all kinds of questions and just, what he does in his day to day. So as of right now, since Louisville, Kentucky and Blake is our corporate location, the validation process, we are sending our franchisees that are looking at purchasing straight to Blake. So you're actually going to be going to someone that started the business, lives it, works it every single day. He's still in the office. So that's how the validation process works. So you're going straight to the CEO and the president of JUNKCO.
That's awesome. Nothing better than that's one of the reasons why I love emerging brands so much is every franchise started with one location.
Exactly.
And when you're working with the founder who created this vision of why JUNKCO and what was the need that Blake saw when he started this company in 2018, and then how he built that company. And then he's really invested in the newest franchisee's success. So I think that's one of the reasons why he went with BELFOR Brands to help him with the franchise expansion plans, because he knows that BELFOR has that history of training and ongoing support for the franchisees. And I'm sure that, any franchise candidate that's going and meeting with Blake and talking to him is going to have Blake's cell phone number and going to build that amazing relationship to build and grow their business and their community.
Most definitely. That was the big thing with Chem-Dry. Like when I first started this out, you've got people that are leaving day-to-day jobs. They're using 401ks. They want to be their own boss. So like I don't ever just throw anybody into a franchise. Like you really have to get to know them because it is their life savings. That's like with validation is a very big thing for me. I always pair them up with someone that's been in the business and they're going to tell you like with Chem-Dry, they're going to tell you the bads. They're going to tell you the goods. Like I don't want to sugarcoat everything because it can be hard.
Now, are the franchise candidates that are looking at JUNKCO+ going to have an opportunity to speak and validate with any of the other brands in the BELFOR family?
If that's something that they chose to do, I have validators from Chem-Dry that I can have them speak with that can talk to them about, our marketing and our training and, our coaches that we have that, like with Chem-Dry, you have ongoing coaching calls every week. That's something that they're going to offer with JUNKCO as well. BELFOR is a really big company. We have over 300 employees that are right there in Ann Arbor working, and they're working day in and day out, helping all these new franchisees come on board, to help with marketing and just the success of their business.
So, Carrie, what are you most excited about with the future of franchising?
I'm very excited. Like I said, it's very new to me. I'm very competitive. I've got a couple people that, like to talk and, talk about numbers, and that pushes me a little bit more. But I really like helping people when it comes down to it at the end of the day. Just people that have worked their whole lives. They're ready to, be their own boss and not work underneath someone anymore. And I'm ready to help them and put them like in the best franchise or brand possible to help them succeed their goals and their dreams. So that's one thing I'm excited about, and just learning more about it, the whole industry itself.
Now, we can't share numbers publicly from the franchise disclosure document, but that is one of the steps that franchise candidates will go through as part of the discovery process. Do you have earnings claims for JUNKCO in your franchise disclosure document?
In the item 19.
Yes, correct. Yes. Very good. So as far as like if JUNKCO isn't a good fit, people start their journey with you, Carrie, and then they still like the, modern restoration or vent cleaning or things like that. Can they look at some of the other BELFOR brands as part of the process?
Oh, most definitely. Like, I'll get leads that come in, and if I realize, like they're not a good fit for Chem-Dry, and, I've asked those different questions and, I'm really figuring out what they want. We've got 14 other brands that you can go with. And I've sent people a list of those brands. I'll either reach out to Dwayne. Dwayne's my really big go-to just because I'm still new. I mean, I've been here a year and a half. I've learned a lot, but some of the stuff with the other brands, I do reach out to Dwayne, and then we put that client in touch with the right brand and get them information on what they need.
What is your process for taking a candidate through discovery, Carrie?
So what I do is we do an introductory call, get to know them. I ask them about their family. I ask them about their job, just their day to day. Like we just talk. Like we don't even really talk business at that point. It's just getting to know them and what their goals are. After that, if they're like, hey, this is something that I want to do, we will do a webinar. So I have a PowerPoint presentation that BELFOR actually helped create. We get on a call with the client and we pull up the PowerPoint presentation. I go over the PowerPoint presentation. It's about 25 pages. We go over that and I let them ask questions. I stop between each page to see if they have any questions or anything like that. If that goes good, we'll talk. I mean, of course, we've talked about territories and stuff. What I really love about JUNKCO is when you get to that point with the territories, we pull up our map and you get to build your own territory. So as long as the zip codes all connect, you get to pretty much map out your own area. And it's exclusivity. So no one else can come in to that area and purchase it. So when you purchase with JUNKCO in your territory with the 55,000 that you pay, that's all exclusive. So that's one thing I do love, that you do get exclusivity. Once we get into that stop, they usually speak with Dwayne, and Dwayne's like, "Okay, Carrie, I think they're good," or "No, you're crazy. What are you thinking here?" And
Have you
then
had
we'll
some
go
of those?
oh yeah, and then we'll go on to the validation status, and then once they talk to Blake, we have discovery days in Ann Arbor once a week, or once a month, for like that. It's a 1 day, in and out. We go out to dinner. The next day, you tour the facility, and then you fly home. So that's pretty much how that works. And then when they get back, if they're like, "Hey, let's do this," we start signing paperwork.
Do I need a physical location with JUNKCO to store my truck and any supplies?
Nope, and that's the cool thing. So with JUNKCO, Home Depot, and Lowe's and different locations like that, that's a good marketing tool as well. They will allow you to take your trucks and park them out in the parking lots, so that you can store it there, or you can store it at your house. I really did like the fact that there are some companies out there that allow people to park their JUNKCO trucks, because it's good advertising.
Yeah, I don't think my HOA would be super happy with me parking a big JUNKCO truck in front of my house. I don't think
Yeah,
it'd
now
fit
I
in my
will ask,
driveway.
if they're part of a HOA, I don't think that'll work.
No.
I lived in Washington State one time, and my husband's prior military, so we've lived like 12 different places in the last 20 years. But I put a blue tarp on my roof, and we got a fine for it because it had to be only brown tarps. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, that's interesting. Too bad the associate. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Anyways.
you also offer a military and veteran discount, correct?
Yeah. So it's 20% off for military discounts. And that's going to be 20% off the franchise fee.
Excellent. So as far as you and your husband, you've moved around quite a bit. Where are you now? Tell me a little bit about you personally, Carrie.
So I'm 42 years old. I have two kids. I have an 18-year-old and a 6-year-old. Yes, they're by the same man. Everybody always asks me that. I don't know why that's a question, but it is. My husband and I, we are celebrating our 20th anniversary next month. We have rented out a venue. So yeah, during the 20 years we lived in Germany, there was always a big joke: when you leave Germany, you come home with a baby or a shrunk. I came home with a baby. And that baby is now 18. He just graduated school and he joined the Army, following in Dad's footsteps. He left July 1st, and then he just left for basic this past Friday. So Mom's been a hot mess the past couple weeks, but it's another learning curve.
Well, congratulations on 20 years, and proud mama with your 18-year-old graduating basics and moving on and advancing. And you've got a few years before your 6-year-old moves in that direction as well.
It's like we're in a different phase right now. Like, I was excited for it, but it's different. I'm like, this is just so weird.
So what else would you like to share with our listeners about BELFOR, yourself, or JUNKCO?
Pretty much one good thing I will tell you about JUNKCO, it is wide open, completely wide open. If it's something that you're interested in, we can build up the territories for you, but we have a white space, so that's really good. And like I said, the big thing is the backing of BELFOR. BELFOR has been around forever. It's a great company. We support 14 other brands. So overall, I think it's a good idea with JUNKCO, and I'm excited to be selling it.
So in franchising, there are certain states that require additional registration beyond the Federal Trade Commission registration. Are there any areas that you're not quite ready to start selling franchises yet?
Yes, so if you have a client, anyone out there listening, if you have a client that is in Illinois, Washington, or Minnesota, we can speak to them about Junko. We can share information. But yes, the FDD is not registered or ready in those states yet. But other than that, we are open and ready in all of the other states.
Yeah, so if any of our listeners are interested in JUNKCO+ or Chem-Dry or any of the other BELFOR brands, please reach out to me, and I'd be happy to connect you directly with Carrie to learn a little bit more about JUNKCO and the BELFOR brands as well as Chem-Dry. I'm excited to work with you. I've already had a couple of clients reach out, and I will say, Carrie, you are outstanding at communication. So anybody who is interested in working with Carrie, I love your passion and your enthusiasm and your
You.
authenticity. Our clients are going to have that same kind of interaction with you. Quick to text, quick to answer questions. So
Oh
thank
yeah.
you for that.
I'm really real. I'm really real. That can get you in trouble sometimes. Dwayne shakes his head at me sometimes, but I'm like, you just gotta be. You can be
Absolutely.
professional and real at the same time.
Exactly. Well, and while you've been in franchising for just a year and a half, I I think that that's cool because you bring a fresh set of eyes to franchising and different kind of transparency to people looking at some of the BELFOR brands that you represent. So a year and a half is a long time. I know you've been doing a lot of things to really get up to speed and become proficient and an expert in the franchise world. But we all start, with day one and grow from there.
Yes, we have to. We have to. I mean, girl, when I first started this, I was like, what's the difference between a franchisee and a franchisor? I said, I'm gonna sound like an idiot. Dwayne was just laughing, but I figured it out. I have figured it out.
So what is the difference between a franchisee and a franchisor,
Okay,
Carrie?
so I am a franchisor. So I've got it down now.
Yes. So for our listeners, if you don't know the difference between a
Yes.
franchisee and a franchisor is the parent company that is in the business of franchise expansion. So they
Mhm.
provide the tools, resources, the brand expertise, and then the franchisees are investors that invest in expanding the brand across the United States and different territories. Franchisees are the owners of their small business. So if you're a franchisee, the CEO and the president, whatever you'd like to title yourself. So you're a small business owner with the support of a big business. So I love being in business for yourself, but not by yourself through franchising.
Exactly. You explained that perfect.
Well, I've been in it a little longer than a year and a half. So a little bit
Yeah.
about me. I've been a franchise consultant for 4 years now, but I've been in
Mhm.
franchising all my life. My parents were franchisees of a beer company, little company named Coors. And then I spent 25 years in nonprofit and did a lot of cause marketing campaigns with national brands like Harley Davidson, Budweiser, 7-Eleven, McDonald's, Burger King. So 4.5 years ago, when I was looking at franchise opportunities, helping change people's lives was really a big core value of mine. And so I love doing that through business ownership.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for being on the Powered by Franchising podcast with me today, Carrie. Look forward to introducing some great candidates to you to help expand the footprint of JUNKCO nationwide.
Yes, I'm so excited. And thank you for inviting me on this. It's been a lot of fun and I've enjoyed it.
Well, thank you again. And thank you for listening to Powered by Franchising.